Violence is under the spotlight in Soweto today. Several organizations, including Mzansi Act Now, the Social Development Department, and the police will close 16 days of activism with a 10-kilometer walk from Walter Sisulu Square to Konka. The walk is against the killing and abuse of women and children. Our reporter Linda Mnisi is on the ground at the moment and he joins us. Linda, a very good morning. When we looked at those stats only a few days ago, 60% increase in a GBV over the last 12 months. The writing is clearly on the wall.
Absolutely, Hugo. And one of the, times when gender-based violence really comes into focus is not only the 16 days of activism against women and child abuse, but also you'll remember during the festive season where people go on holiday, they go back to their homes. This is when, a number of women and children experience the wrath of gender-based violence. As you rightfully mentioned, this walk is, of course, it encompasses a number of organizations that will come together today to raise their voices against GBV. Mzansi Act Now comprises of a group of South Africans who've come together to rally, particularly men, to be the ones that are at the forefront of this scourge. But of course, you'll also remember that the contribution that alcohol plays in gender-based violence, and that is why you see establishments like Konka being part of this particular initiative and this particular walk. I'm joined now by Lucky Ntemane, who is from the Liquor Traders Association. He's the convener. Lucky, thank you so much for your time. Like I've just mentioned, the issue around the relationship between alcohol and gender-based violence, and the same people who are seen advocating for the lifting of liquor bans should be the ones that are also at the forefront of the fight against gender-based violence where alcohol is concerned. Talk to us about your involvement as the liquor industry in this particular program.
Thank you, Babu Mnisi, and thank you for the opportunity. We see ourselves as the alcohol industry as part of the solution in fighting against the scourge of gender-based violence, which has now reached pandemic proportions. So we are here today to take a lead in the fight against gender-based violence. We know that the 16th day of activism ended yesterday, but we are saying that this is the fight that we want to take for 365 days. It is very important for us to position liquor traders to be champions in the fight against gender-based violence, and also to encourage men to take a stand in the fight against gender-based violence. And it's also incumbent upon us to make sure that those that we know that perpetuate gender-based violence should be reported. They have no right to remain in society if they continue to abuse those that are vulnerable in our society and community.
Let's talk about the actual plans, because it's one thing talking about it and acting against it is another. And we've seen many walks taking place. I mean, you'll remember also during the killing of we saw a lot of protests and a lot of marches. But in terms of the liquor industry and translating those statements to the ground, to the tavern owner who really is the one that would operate in this space, what do those in the practical sense, what do those plans look like?
So we are literally putting our money where our work is. We are investing 2.5 million rand in the next 2 months to address the issue of gender-based violence in our spaces. We want to create safe spaces within taverns. What we are going to do in the next 4 days, we are going to launch Tavern Dialogues on Gender-Based Violence, which is a program supported and sponsored by DSTV, where we are going to encourage 40 taverns in the Hammanskraal area. As we know that Hammanskraal has now become the rape capital of South Africa. But we have also identified Mamelodi, which is also appearing on the high incidence list of gender-based violence. So we feel that we need to go, to the coal surface where the issues are. And Hammanskraal and Mamelodi represent those places where we want to really address the issue of gender-based violence. In January, we are going to launch another Tavern Dialogues on Gender-Based Violence, where we are targeting 60 outlets across the country, specifically Eastern Cape, KZN, as well as Gauteng. We really need to play our part, and as the alcohol industry, we are doing exactly that. And SAB also need to be commended for their No Excuse campaign, which is aimed at addressing the issue of gender-based violence. So we are together in this, and we are working together with our partners, Act Now, Department of Social Development, as well as SAPS, to make sure that we fight the scourge of gender-based violence in our country.
All right, Linda Mnisi is the convener of the Liquor Traders Association, talking to us really about their involvement in this particular program. As you can see behind me, the couple of police vehicles that have already arrived. We see a lot of people start trickling in. We're told the police minister, Begicele, will also be a part of this particular program. So later on then, we're expecting to speak to him. Hugo?
Linda, thank you very much. We're going to see you in another 10 kilometers after you've enjoyed that walk, and he's coming to us from Soweto.